next to Mumbai, and while Mumbai's recovery rate seems to be improving, it's these areas which have become the main concern for civic authorities in the state. Now, what we have in fact seen is that there are several areas in the Mumbai metropolitan region where lockdown had been recently reimposed, but they have now been lifted, especially in Thane and Mira Bhayandar areas. But the curbs still continue in the hotspot areas in these areas. So the hotspot areas in Thane and Mira Bhayandar, the lockdown has in fact been extended in these areas. Now, if we look at Thane specifically, where lockdown has been extended till July 31st in some of the areas which are still hotspots in this place. This is primarily being done in order to curb the coronavirus spike that Thane has in fact witnessed recently. Non-essential shops will be allowed to remain open on an odd and even basis on alternate days, and with 15,496 cases, Thane has in fact turned into a major coronavirus hotbed. Let me go across to my colleague Neha Kulkarni for more on this. Neha, what we have in fact seen is that in Thane, now there's a decision being taken to lift curbs from most of the areas. The curbs will remain on the hotspot areas nonetheless. But how exactly have people, especially the traders in this area, reacted to this? Because as we have been hearing from a lot of people, their business has been hit because of the reimposition of lockdown again. So what do they have to say about this?
Absolutely, Tanama, as you correctly mentioned, for our viewers watching this channel, let's tell them that Thane has been one of the major areas as far as the neighboring city of Mumbai is concerned. It has a population of more than 10 lakhs and it's one of the MMR regions that is seeing about 15,000 and more cases, and these cases have increased in the past 2 months itself. Now, having said that, the corporation authorities had decided to implement the lockdown in the area for the past 2 weeks, and now yesterday they have decided that in the 27 hotspot areas, the lockdown will continue because they claim that the cases need to be curbed and more contact tracing needs to be done in these areas. Now, because of this extended lockdown, in this lockdown especially, the corporation authorities have asked the grocery and kirana stores also to remain shut and permitted home delivery of these items. But because of which, the fact that they have been shut for so long, they say that their essential produce is going to waste. They are not being able to sell these items, and it's definitely impacting their business in a very, very big way. But at the same time, Tanima, before even we speak about what traders require, we are showing you, we are reporting from one of the containment zones of Thane. This is Vartak Nagar. It's a Sunday. The lockdown has been extended here. But if I can just simply show you around, because of the rains, actually the crowd has reduced, but the crowd continues in this region at in the very same way. There is a lot of people coming out in the market. The crowd is there, and we are hardly seeing. We were like 5 minutes ago, there was a van that came in from Thane Municipal Corporation authorities asking them to go indoors, but nothing actually happened. If you can see, the crowd and movement of vehicles is also the same. People are stepping out even not for essential reasons, and being a Sunday, being the fact that it's people want to usually buy and visit the markets, they are coming out in good numbers. So the fact that even lockdown is getting extended here, what does it actually mean? How it is getting implemented still remains a big question, because we are not seeing that strict control as far as social distancing is concerned in these areas. And this has been a report since the past 2 weeks that Mirror now has visited Thane, that these areas are not implementing the social lockdown norms effectively. So the fact that even lockdown is getting extended now in these areas, how it is helping the Thane municipal authorities also remains a question. They have been claiming that they are trying to increase tracing, they are trying to increase testing facilities in this area, but this is what the major question remains, that if you're going to extend the lockdown without following the basic rules here of following social distancing, how long will the lockdown get extended? Because that is not the solution to control the COVID-19 cases, the rising cases in Thane.
That's right. Lockdown is not the solution for tackling with COVID-19 cases in any area for that matter. Neha, stay with us. I'm also joined by my colleague Santya from the Mira Bhayandar region. Now, in Mira Bhayandar, over 5,500 cases have in fact been recorded in just a span of 3 months. In fact, initially, 3 months back, the tally was somewhere around 700 odd cases. But as of yesterday, over 6,075 cases in total have in fact been recorded from the Mira Bhayandar area. And as we know, as Neha was also pointing out, that lockdown has been lifted from some of the areas in Mumbai metropolitan region, which also includes Mira Bhayandar in the Mumbai metropolitan region. Now, there are 10 hotspots which still remain in the Mira Bhayandar region, in which the curbs will still be there. So, Mira Bhayandar, as we can see, that the restrictions are still going to be kept in some of the hotspot areas, but nonetheless, it is still one of the worrying spots that we can see, where lockdown has in fact been lifted to some extent, but in the hotspot areas, the 10 hotspot areas that we know in Mira Bhayandar, the curbs will still continue. Sandhya on this with me. Sandhya, so what we can in fact see is that Mira Bhayandar is one of the emerging concerns for Maharashtra government as far as the Mumbai metropolitan region is concerned. Lockdown has now been lifted, but 10 worrying areas still remain.
Yes, absolutely, Tanima. There are 10 hotspots identified by the corporation in these two towns, and only those 10 areas will be under complete lockdown. Other than that, the rest of the city will actually have relaxation, will witness relaxations according to the Mission Begin guidelines of Maharashtra government. Right now, we are in one such market area, and you can see that shops are open here. So this shows that how that lockdown is lifted from these areas. Now, talking about containment zones, Tanima, there are around 500 containment zones in these towns. So containment zones and hotspots are the places where the focus of the municipal corporation of Mira Bhayandar is going to be there. That's what the corporation has claimed. Talking about the complete lockdown, that was imposed on the city starting from 1st of July for 10 days initially, and then on 10th of July it was extended up to 18th of July, and last night a decision was taken to lift the lockdown. And you can see that here also the shops, of course, the shops also, in order to stay open, have to follow odd even formula. So you can see that at least this market area of Mira Road has tried to follow that norm. You can see that how the shops can be seen following odd and even formula here. Apart from that, talking about other infrastructure in the city, now the corporation is claiming that they have tried to use the lockdown period to enhance the health infrastructure. They have tried to increase the bed capacity also in these towns, but for a population of over 8 lakh people, Tanima, bed capacity of 803 beds in 15 hospitals and 5 healthcare centers is clearly not enough, Tanima.
Right, the health infrastructure clearly being caught completely inadequate with this current situation that we can see in Mira Bhayandar. The civic authorities are now rushing, of course, to step up measures in order to make sure that they are able to tackle with the COVID crisis which is emerging in the area. Neha Kulkarni and Sandhya Gora, thank you so much for joining us with that. Time for